What would you say the number one, I guess, turnoff is for most people in the conversation?
The number one turnoff in the conversation when they're at a networking event like this.
Sure, or just in general that most people have.
Yeah, I find that.
Totally putting you on the spot here.
Oh, of course. No, I find that I know I'm turned off, and I think a lot of people relate to this as well. When someone gets really technical in their terminology
Hmm.
and they start getting into business speak, if they're an entrepreneur and they start using all of their acronyms
The
and
jargon. Yeah.
shorthand, the jargon, exactly.
Yeah.
That's I'd say that jargon is probably the most pervasive issue in how people tend to communicate one on one.
I would really let me piggyback off that as well. I know in the self-help world, and there's nothing wrong with this because it's appropriate at times, but sometimes in the self-help world, people say certain things, and I'm like, I have no idea what you just said, and because the jargon is so
Hmm.
I just don't get it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I sometimes I'm like, okay, well, thank you. Thank you for your conversation. But I just don't get it. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what you said, but thank you. But sometimes it is like that. And I do think that when people essentially just don't read the room, if you're not reading that people's eyes are glazed over or that people really aren't paying attention, obviously you've not understood the people that with whom you're speaking. And so I think it just goes back to the interpersonal aspect of just read the room. Look at the people you're talking to. If they're not even paying attention, then you should probably word things a little bit different. Because if they're not even in your field, they're gonna have no idea what you're talking about.
Right, absolutely. And reading the room is a very good note to have. And especially like I just provided a little framework for how you might give a little elevator speech,
Uh-huh.
but that doesn't necessarily even mean you want to be, I am talking now, and this is exactly these are the 4 points I'm going to say
Yeah.
because I heard about it on Lifeology the other day. No, it's like if you're setting up the problem, it's like, do you know how hard it is to stay disciplined to do your workout?
Yeah.
If the person says, no, that's not my problem at all, I'm completely disciplined and I have no idea what you're talking about, then it's probably a good idea not to continue with your little elevator speech. So you might want to, when you're getting into, oh, this is my elevator speech,
Yeah.
you might want to have a little bit of, remember that you're both human beings and check in with them. You know how
Hmm.
this, oh, yeah, yeah, I get that. Yeah, totally. And then when blah, 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 yeah, totally. I totally know what you're talking about. And then maybe you have some room to get into speech mode. But remember, it's a conversation.